Okay, have SMU coming to town. Last year they got after us really good. It was an extremely tough loss. They got a lot of their guys coming back. This staff I know very well. They know us really well too. Ought to be a good game, and one that we're looking forward to. Questions?
When you look at the film from the other night against Georgia Tech, what stands out as the offensive deficiencies? You won the game, you ran for a lot of yards, but I know there were some points you left on the table not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, there was quite a few points, possibilities left on the table. That was probably the most frustrating thing. There were seven specific plays that I think we could have got some points on that we didn't. So that was the frustrating thing. But really, when that happens, we gotta coach these guys better. That's the way I look at it. So, the good thing was we rushed for 285 yards. That was really good again. And they were a real aggressive defense. And, one of the best in the country in TFLs, takeaways, and all that. So that was a good part. But leaving the points out was pretty tough. But here's the great thing about it: it's all correctable. And I know that we're just a little bit away from clicking pretty good. So that's the positive part.
You mentioned 285 rushing yards. Do you want to see more in the passing game though, moving forward?
Well, like we talked about, at the first of the season, really in every game, we're at our best, we're balanced. We've had 2 games where we're extremely balanced, and 2 games that we haven't. So, for us to be our best, we need to be balanced in the running game and the passing game. The good thing is, one thing has been consistent: we've been able to run the football. In college football, that's very important.
You mentioned balance, Coach. What's the key to finding that balance?
Hitting the plays when they're available. And it all works together. The passing game, I know everybody, the quarterback, all this, but I think we've had 14 or 15 drops this year, to be fair. And so we got to do a better job around it. And so we're working hard to do that.
With tropical storm and soon to be Hurricane Ian coming close to Florida, what have been the internal discussions as far as if this game is going to be able to be played this weekend?
Yeah, we're just taking it day by day. We're going about our business like we're going to play the game and everything that goes with it. Day by day, as we get more updates, we'll be able to make the best decision.
Considering travel and the leg for SMU, when does a decision need to be made by?
That's a great question. Like I said, we're just going to take it day by day, and like I said, as of right now, we're expecting to play.
Jobs have been a significant issue, as you said. How do you, and we asked Chip last night, he said it doesn't really happen in practice, it only happens at the game. So how do you coach that, or can you explain why that's been occurring? Drops, wide receiver drops have been an issue this year.
I don't know, like I said, we got to coach it better, we got to do a better job of catching the football when we have an opportunity to do that.
Overall, through 4 games, how would you evaluate your team, with conference play coming up?
Yeah, right before conference play, you kind of always catch your breath. We're 3-1. Obviously, the one loss was a game that we had an opportunity to win. I really think we're getting better as a team. Matter of fact, I know we're getting better as a team. Our special teams are starting to come on. Our kickers, kicking situations starting to be solidified. Return game, we're very close, and so I think we're in a good spot. Enter conference play.
Mentioned SMU coming to town. They got a lot of returners and such, including the quarterback Tanner Mordecai. Is this going to be the biggest offensive challenge you face this year?
I think there's a good chance that is the case. That quarterback was phenomenal last year against us. Red has done a great job with him. They got one of the better receivers in all of college football statistically. They got one of the best passing offense in college football. A lot of those guys back, like you said. So it'll be a good challenge for our defense.
You look at the numbers, but from your perspective, what stood out about R.J. Harvey's running ability Saturday night?
Yeah, he bounced one of the zones. He had a little explosiveness to him. You can tell that. He's a guy that, like we said, he'll get more and more opportunities, each game. And I think that was a really good, breath of fresh air that came in, gave us a little spark when he did.
Now that John Rice has gotten 4 games here as a starting quarterback, what areas would you like to see him improve, going into conference? What can he do better?
I think it's just the overall command of the offense and situational awareness and things like that. That's really the big thing.
When you look at the film, what trends are you noticing? Maybe is it a play calling thing as far as the red zone defense is concerned? You guys have had a number of opportunities this year up against the wall where you've managed to keep teams out of the end zone.
Yeah, we've in the past we prided ourselves in being effective in the red zone. You're exactly right. That's been probably one of the bigger frustrating things. I think it's a combination. I've had a couple poor play calls. There's no doubt about that. We've had a couple, poor execution things with that. But that's when you win and lose games, and we got to do a better job moving forward. And that's something that we're addressing really on a daily basis.
Actually about the red zone defense. The fact that you
Okay, well, you know what I got my mind on. The red zone defense, we've been really, really good. And we expect to continue that. Coach Williams, the defensive players, they've taken great pride in stepping up. And, I think we're one of the best statistically in the country in the red zone defense. So we need to do the same thing on the offensive side.
Keeping it about defense, we talked about SMU's offense. So what is it about their defense that kind of gets your attention?
Well, a lot of those guys are back too, and they got after us pretty good. Their defensive front, they got a couple of guys that are very explosive. They got some guys on the edge that can get after the quarterback. Their defensive scheme, it's a little bit unique from a lot of other defenses and all that. And they do a good job with it.
Coach, with this being the first game of the conference schedule, I know it's the last year you guys are the American, almost like a farewell season kind of thing. Is things feel a little bit different now that you're finally going into conference play? I know you guys have those aspirations and those high goals for the team this season.
We have a lot of respect for SMU. We're just focused on them. It's our first conference game. We're at home. Like I said, last year they got after us pretty good. We got most of their guys back, and we need to play good football. And really, that's the only thing on our mind. We're not thinking about anything other than that.
Brett Lashley was your quarterback at Shiloh Christian, right? Mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
What do you remember about a young Brett Lashley?
Yeah, first of all, Brett was a really, really good player, really good leader, really good competitor, and then he helped me coach at Springdale High School. He was with me my first year coaching college in Arkansas, and then of course he was my GA. In 2010, we won the national championship with Cam, and he was my OC at Arkansas State, back at Auburn with the national championship game. So yeah, we know each other real well. And he is one of the smarter coaches that I've ever been around, been able to work with. He's very good with players. I can't say enough good things about him. He's probably one of the best offensive minds all in college football.
How was he as a quarterback when he played for you in high school? What do you remember about that aspect of him?
He was really talented. He set some national passing records, back in the day, and he ended up hurting his shoulder. He played for the Razorbacks, and if he hadn't hurt his shoulder, I think he'd have played a lot more.
Coach, in regards to the hurricane that's potentially coming somewhere around Florida on the Gulf, how does that look at the precautions for the team and for the staff? Is there kind of like a plan in place, even though there is a lot of unknowns and uncertainties of just how much that affects us here?
Yeah, Terry's administration's working hard on that. They've been working on it a couple of days, all the what ifs and all that. And like I said, just from my standpoint, when preparing your team, I addressed our team that, hey, we're moving forward like a normal week. Obviously, we'll keep you updated. If things change on a daily basis, we'll be able to adjust with that. But we've got to be looking like we're going to play the game. So that's our mindset. But I know Terry and his staff is working behind the scenes really hard.
Colton Boomer to come in and kick 4 field goals, a huge reason why he won the game for a freshman. Just talk about his moxie.
Yeah, he's really performed very well. The last 2 games, he's got that confidence, that air about him. He came in and he made some huge kicks last week. He did the week before too. So I think our kicking game is in good hands right now.
It's been reported that Jeff Collins has been fired at Georgia Tech. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I hate it for him. He's a good football coach. That is accurate. I hate it for him, and wish him nothing but the best. Me and Jeff went against each other numerous times when he was in the SEC and different places, Mississippi State, Florida, and all that. Wish him nothing but the best.
How would you evaluate the offensive line after 4 games?
I think I've said it every week. They're a bunch that's growing. And 2 new tackles. Starting tackle, move to guard. I think the bunch has a chance to be a really good offensive line before it's all said and done. They've done some good things each game. It's just we got to correct the little things. It's kind of a combination. And I talked about the drops and the misses with certain throws, but it's a combination protecting too. And so it's all of the above. But that bunch has a chance to be really good. I feel like.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.